Hi, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the GASOCAST. I'm your host, at GASO Lyndon, joined by at iFilmHoopers, joined by at GASO Blue.
Wait, we're not doing no government names, just
No,
straight,
no.
just straight social media
Just
vibe,
catch us
baby.
on social. Just catch us on social.
What's going on, fellas?
At GASOMAS is away just for today, but he'll be back.
But you got to fill in first place. Only 14 days left until the first official high school basketball practice. You know, we were just kicking it before the show, and we're talking about how much things have changed. These kids have played almost a full season before they're even having their first official practice now. It's so different.
Yeah, and that's kind of what our discussion question of the day is, just kind of how this has changed. It has turned into another season. The quality of basketball, there's so much going on now to where, you know, these first tournaments and games at the start of the season should be hot and heavy right away. Good basketball going on. Blue, kind of talk about how you've been in this game a long time. Kind of talk about how the development of, you know, fall leagues, how many GASOs we're doing now compared to how it used to be. Just kind of describe the landscape, how it is now in this preseason or fall season.
Even before y'all even arrived today, Sam and I were talking exactly about the amount of tournaments that are being played in April, the attention, as we have talked about as another question a few weeks back about how the game has changed for coaches. Think back to TABC. That really did that start, end. You know, where does that fall in all of this?
True.
And every weekend there's some place to go to in the fall. You know, you talked about earlier that you did not have the opportunities as a player to always, you know, being at Judson. You came to the GASO Fall Classic, and that was kind of what you were waiting for. I don't think that there was anything else other than that. But as we have gone through the years and more people have been getting involved for their good reasons of giving opportunities for teams to play, like you said, they're playing a lot of games. I mean, you come to ours, you get a couple games, but then you go somewhere else, you might be getting another 2 to 3 games every week. I talked to one high school head coach. He said this is their 5th of the year since September to play in, and so that's a lot of mileage. But these kids, this is the way they grow. This is the way they build the chemistry on the team, and really, there's not any complaining being done.
And I think you and Lyndon have played high level basketball in high school and in college, and I think just knowing the perspective of the player, like all you want to do is get ready to hoop.
Yeah.
So back when I played the fall was like, man, we're not getting to play a whole bunch. We're just kind of beating each other up in practice. At least now, week by week, you have that Wednesday fall league, or you have that weekend GASO or event to where you beat each other up all week, but then you get to go see it against somebody else in a scrimmage setting, where we had to wait almost a month. So going into this first days of practice, you know, it won't feel like, oh man, we got to wait even longer to play some guys. You get to kind of go to battle earlier.
And I think the other side to this, you know, as teacher, coach, you know, everybody has a dual part to play as a coach. However, when your kids are participating, your team's participating, you have a lot of time to correct a lot of errors early through the system of the athletic period, through the discussions that you can have one-on-one or as a team throughout a day. And so it actually helps teams get better and get the wrinkles out, though these are just simulating games. It's a lot different when y'all are playing, but this really does help.
You know, he hit the nail on the head earlier when he was talking about, like, we're going to see some high-level basketball from the jump, because it's not, okay, we get 2 weeks of real practice and then we're going to roll what's out there and fix it as we go along. You're getting an actual, not finished product, but it's well on its way to being what the team's going to end up looking like when it comes to district, when that first weekend of tournaments comes here.
And two more keys here is, one, the parents want to win. They want to be competitive. And two, I've talked to head coaches that say, hey, give me a little something I can sink my teeth into. Give me some confident builder. We don't need to go. We don't need to go out there and test ourselves and go 0-2 in a weekend. We just need to get better.
Yeah.
So a lot of different mentalities.
And I'll wrap this up where we are seeing some high level games as well. And as much as they don't matter, they're like when you get late in January and February, like, oh, remember in September and October they had this little matchup at the GASO. Like, it's gonna matter, and we're gonna go back to that, even if they're just scrimmages. They always matter.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Moving on, Just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get into our breakdown of the Mansfield GASO. First off, check out our Twitter, check out our YouTube for GASO overtime episodes featuring our Houston event that we just wrapped up last weekend. Some really good stuff down there. And then, obviously, the 23rd of September, that's Sunday, GASO Juco is coming to Carrollton. It's a big event. Blue, you want to talk about that for a second?
Just a few seconds here. I think this is a great opportunity for not just the junior colleges, but for the high school coaches to come to the games and bring their high school players. We'll have a discount for high school players to enter the gym that day to see college, because this is going to give people and parents that educational piece to see different styles of play, kind of like the link camp, see different styles, see different bodies out there, speed, pace of the games. This is a great opportunity to come out to see nearly 50 teams on the one day, along with some prep schools and independents that will be there. We're excited for this. Division I's will be there, and a host of other colleges, obviously, from that are non-D1s. So pretty big deal, and the JUCO coaches are looking forward to it.
And I'll say this, for those parents and players that aren't familiar with every single level up close and personal, like JUCO ain't sweet. I played JUCO level. Like, that's tough basketball. You're going to see real dudes out there getting to it, and there's going to be a lot of Division I coaches in the building for a reason. So if you want to know what a Division I level prospect looks like, there'll be plenty in that gym. So I would definitely recommend parents, coaches, players to go just absorb that knowledge and information and see for yourself what this specific level is.
Yeah, for sure. Now diving into the Mansfield GASO Fall Classic, some favorite matchups with this segment. It'd be near impossible if we didn't mention Duncanville as part of this. So, Blue, take us away. Who do you see them playing?
And I mentioned Duncanville because this is there's always an intrigue about Duncanville and what they're going to we always want to fast forward and know what the finished product looks like. However, they're going to be playing Dallas Faith Family, which it's very significant because the 4A is pretty loaded when you look across the state with Silsby and, of course, Booker T out of Houston, Dallas Carter, Dallas Pinkston. The list goes on in the 4A, and now we get the chance to see Dallas Faith Family. And we'll talk about a couple of their players coming up here. But I think, to me, this is a really big matchup just to really get a sense. I mean, I'm a guy that wants to know everything in the different classes. And this is a big piece of that 4A to see where Dallas Faith Family is this early.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's only right that we have a Mansfield school featured in the Mansfield Fall Classic. So talk about that Hillcrest-Mansfield Summit matchup.
Yeah, so I was in the gym with Hillcrest's 2025 point guard Mike Williams the other day, and I was like, hey, man, like, you're coming to the GASO Fall Classic. We put you against Mansfield Summit. He was like, oh, yeah, they play fast, don't they? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a fun game. I'm glad we matched y'all up. And that's exactly what I was looking for here. All those guards at Mansfield Summit, with a guard like Mike Williams going at it. You have David Terrell and King Grace possibly meeting right there and guarding each other and playing that. Just a lot of opportunities here for some big plays and exciting basketball, and I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Lyndon?
The Richardson-Dallas Carter matchup, when you look at those two front courts, there's some mean dudes out there who can get buckets. I mean, when you look at Tim Jordan, Rusten, Griffen, those guys on the Richardson side, and then you have Chance Purry or Cole Williams on Dallas Carter, just that 2-on-2 matchup in the front court, man. It's something that I'm licking my chops as an evaluator to be able to go see. Like you said, it's another 6A versus 4A where we get to see where the talent actually equates.
Absolutely.
So now we're going to break it down into some player segments over here, talking about some top 2023 prospects. We're getting to see O.D. Wyatt here. I know both of you guys highlighted one of theirs. Blue, lead us off. Talk about Nicholas Gunter from O.D. Wyatt.
Yeah, I think this has been a popular phone call to receive. And, my last impression of him was at TABC, being able to see him. He was being aggressive. He was hitting some outside shots. I want to see what has happened as we fast forward to today of 4 months later of where's he going to fit in? Because there's a lot of intrigue. I think there's intrigue by me too. A lot of intrigue about this O.D. Wyatt team that is really hungry and ready for the season. And so he's a 6'10" prospect that can step out and shoot it. versatile. That's a big bonus at the next level. So really interested in seeing him.
Yeah, so staying on that ODY line, I have 2023 Myles Rigsby. So little GASO gossip at the Duncanville Panthers shootout that they had a few weekends ago. It looked like, based on highlights, he really was getting to it. So I just want to see all the tools he's putting together since that commitment to Troy. Takes that leadership role. I've been a big believer in, hey, you're a 2023 senior now. I want to see that leadership start to roll for all these guys. So he's another one that I'm looking forward to seeing at our GASO Fall Classic.
Yeah, continuing on that theme of a team that I haven't seen since the TABC, MJ Thomas with Denton. The TABC was the best I've seen him as a prospect in terms of getting to it against high-level prospects. And I want to see in that 3-4 months, however long it's been, has he taken the next step? Has he evolved into that kind of point forward role that he's been in, and get an update on his recruitment, on his game? So I'm really looking forward to see that Denton group with him coming from 1A Calvert all the way up to Denton. How that transition's gone? Has it really made him evolve as a prospect?
It could also be a lot of high expectations at Denton, coming off of a semifinal state run, and now you're going to Denton where they're ready to get to the next level.
Yeah. Continuing on, Blue. I know we've got a couple.
Wait, Blue. Explain that though. No, explain what you mean. New coaching staff for those that don't.
New coaching staff. MJ is Michael Jr. His dad is Michael Thomas, who is the head coach there, and it's almost as he's been preparing for this, and they have a lot of really great pieces out there from everything that I've been talking to people, and they had some move-ins from out of state. So the expectation's high for them to come out here and compete right away and play championship basketball. And I think I'm not too sure if they've played other than fall leagues, which you saw them a few weeks back, but coming in to play the teams that we have them slated to, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they're not
Byron
coming
Nelson
in.
and Prosper. I mean, it's 2 good games.
You're gonna test yourself real quick, and he's gonna. I think Coach Thomas is gonna learn a lot about his team as a whole and what they've been leading up to, and of course we'll know more about the prospects, including MJ.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So continuing on with more 2023 prospects we see here. Parker Hanna is a guy who's had a really productive summer, just committed at McNeese.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about him.
Well, I'm interested to see how – it's always great to see. It's always – once a kid has they get that the commitment out of the way, and then they play like a committed player. The confidence level rises. The excitement around him, you expect him to produce. And he was a guy that I was always kind of like on the fence of, like, is there going to be a Division I team that will go on Parker? Because he's so fun to watch. He is just this little just jitterbug up and down the court and knocks down shots and plays hard and it's tough, and he'll get up in you defensively. And so I want to see what particularly my theme is the entire team, and see how the team's going to be with him leading the charge there at Keller, and the Zach Weir coach team is always one of the best on the court, if not in the state. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Timmins, I know that you highlighted this kid. I mean, he was super productive over the summer. He's a defending state champ. Jadyn Toppin, talk a little bit about his game, what you expect to see from him.
Yeah, New Mexico commit, they've fallen in love with who he is now. I know that we saw some things this summer where he's continued to work on the offensive game. He already has the length, the motor, the athleticism inside to just create havoc and change the game just with effort. Now you saw him hitting turnaround jump shots. The footwork's getting better and better. I'm excited to see him continue to evolve as a player. And, hey, let's try to go back-to-back if you're Faith Family, that squad there.
For sure. I'll wrap things up with this segment talking about a kid who was really, really, really productive during our first DFW Fall Classic, and that's James Cloud out of Prosper. I mean, the kid ticks every box. He's a winner. He plays hard. He makes the extra pass. He knocks down his open looks. He doesn't force it. He's just that ultimate teammate basketball player who just thinks the game 2 steps ahead of everybody else. And with that Prosper group, with Jackson Ford on the floor, with the pieces that they have, I'm really excited to see. They're getting some big-time matchups. They're playing Denton, like we mentioned. So let's see what he can bring to this Mansfield shootout.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on to 2024's. Blue, this prospect right here, on the same team as Jadyn Toppin. Go ahead and talk about him.
Isaac Williams, a lot has been said about him moving from Oklahoma. I believe he played for Trey Young Elite, if I'm not mistaken. So just a lot of hype behind him, a lot of unknowns on my end. So he's the perfect 2024 that I want to see as he see how he's gelling with this defending champs, 4A state championships. They're looking for another one. So at 6'1", a guard that has sounds like he has a lot of great qualities that people are waiting to see, and he was injured here and there this past fall, so not too sure how much he's actually been able to play, but he will be at the GASO because I double-checked before we got on the air.
Awesome.
Nice. For me, this kid, it's kind of a case of where there's smoke, there's fire. Whenever you see so much foot traffic in the gym for a 2024 kid, you just kind of think, okay, these college coaches are seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
with Brooks Bahr out of Keller, I'm telling you, he was super productive. He does all the things you'd ask an offensive guard to do. He hits shots. He creates shots. He makes plays in the open court. So I'm telling you, get your eyes on this kid. College coaches, fans of the game, get your eyes on this kid because he's really fun to watch, and he's going to be super productive with this Keller group.
Yeah, for me, I'll finish out the 2024s with Rusten Griffen of Richardson. The one word that stands out is opportunity. He has the opportunity now with Case and Wallace and his older brother Rylan Griffen leaving, and he has an opportunity, along with his skill and his size, to be very productive for this Richardson team. That's going to need some more playmakers and scorers on that squad. Anytime I talk about anybody on Richardson this year, you know, if you were in that athletic program, then hey, you know, kind of, you have your own DNA, because I mean, Case and Rylan right there,
Right.
you know, helped a lot and, you know, led that team. So I'm looking for Rusten to come in this year and make a big mark on that Richardson team that I'm growing more excited to see this season.
Especially with Jace Spann transferring out as of late. So Rusten really has a lot of opportunity.
Right.
All right, let's wrap things up with this final segment, talking next-gen prospects. Blue, you got a 2026 kid out of Azle. Let's hear a little bit about Sawyer
Dotson. We caught him, of course, at our link camp. Started to see the how mature he is as a basketball player. He wants to step out and shoot it. He'll go inside and score over his shoulders. Just he's still growing. The body's still developing, but there's a lot to like when this guy can step out there and break loose, catch and shoot, and knock down shots in bunches. So really want to get my eyes on him a little bit more in the setting of getting up and down 94 feet.
For sure. Timmins, you circled two kids.
Yeah.
That I mean, both of them are big-time next-gen guys. Let's hear about them.
2025 Cameron Carroll of South Grand Prairie. Just one of those guards, regardless of class, that can break down the defender with no ball screen on an ISO. Very impressive to me, and I believe we give them – who do we give them this weekend?
He has Red Oak. And one other team. I'll look that up as you're talking.
Look it up, because there's a reason why I'm blanking right now.
There's too many good games. I can't remember everything.
There really is.
But there's a reason. There's a matchup that I like for him.
Go on to your next one.
No. This is we're fine. Yeah. I want to stay on this thought.
Here. All right, Grand Prairie.
And they have
they have Lake Highlands. So I'm like, hey, you're going to learn a lot more about Cameron Carroll as a lead guard this year for South Grand Prairie.
We're going to learn a lot about SGP.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I definitely wanted to see that matchup against Jalen Washington, against Quentin Perkins right there. That'll be fun and electric. So will be one I'm looking for. And then another kid, 2025, Amari Reed of Lancaster. I remember I had saw him in the summer with Southern Assault, and then at our first Fall GASO Classic, it was just a free throw. And I wasn't recording. Lancaster shooting a free throw. The ball goes off the rim. He literally crashes harder than I've ever seen anybody crash. Gets the offensive rebound. I think he either dunked it or laid it back in. But that motor, man, he's all over the place. Freaky length. Runs the floor up and down like a gazelle with that size. Just a lot to like out of a prospect. And when we're talking to younger kids, when you already have that motor, there's so much more that you can add to that. But when you have that motor, it's hard to teach. And he has it.
For sure.
Lyndon, finish us off.
Yeah. Caden Edwards out of Duncanville. I mean, as far as next-gen prospects in the 2025 class, he's up there with any of them. I mean, this kid, from an evaluator's perspective, he just screams 3-and-D at the next level. I mean, when you talk about somebody at TABC, I don't think I saw him miss a shot.
Yep.
The entire 3 games that they got that weekend, and that's kind of his MO. He shows up, he plays lockdown defense, he knocks down the 3 ball, and he's kind of that in-betweener where he can go get your boards on either end and come up with some points that way. I'm really excited to see him. I mean, Duncanville, they could probably fill 3 varsity rosters with the kids they have on their team, but Caden, it's kind of a chance for him to step up this year where the keys can be turned over. I mean, they have all the talent in the world, but Caden can be that guy that makes sure that they break back over and win that 5th straight state title. You know?
Absolutely.
A lot to live up to with the recent, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, that offer from Texas.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
Well, shoot, man. We're excited as always. This will be our final fall GASO Classic of the fall. You know, we're going to be transitioning into some regional previews as we get ready for the high school season to start. Follow us on social media. Text Hoops GASO, GASO Lyndon, GASO Blue, myself, IFM Hoopers. Go give the YouTube channel a follow, Text Hoops Television. That really helps me be able to travel across the state, hire more people, get more game recaps out. Comment below what are some game recaps you want us to see on the YouTube channel this week, and just continue to support, man. We're bringing out a lot of new stuff. We're excited for the high school season just like y'all are.
For sure.
So we'll talk to y'all soon.